Hey guys, this is DKS3A, the Crazy Gamer. Duh. Anyway, I haven't done a collection video in a while, so it's about time for me to start updating all my collections and stuff. And I'm going to start with one of my oldest systems that I have, the NES. It's not a big system. I had a lot more games when I was growing up, but a lot of them I lost move-in, and a lot of them just got lost over the years and stuff like that. But these are ones I've gotten over the past little while, and starting to build my collection back up again slowly, but it's not a big one. It's probably about 25 games. It's not a lot right now, but I mean, I can show you what I have, and so hope you enjoyed this collection video, and let's get started. First thing I got is the Eliminator. It's basically a Nintendo game cleaner. You put this into the Nintendo, and then you put it back and forth, and inside it's supposed to clean inside the Nintendo. It's supposed to eliminate all the dust inside there. It works okay. So it's just a cleaning thing. And now we get into the games, and we have the 3D Battles of World Runner. It's one of my favorite games I had growing up, and it says it's Acclaim. Well, technically it is, but it's also Squaresoft. So it is Squaresoft too, and it's basically a run. You're a guy. I've done a let's play on it, but you're basically a guy non-stop running. You jump over obstacles, shoot enemies, fight dragons. You're basically a space bounty hunter, and going around fighting enemies and stuff like that. So it's a fun little game though. It was one of my favorite games growing up. I used to play this game all the time. Then we have 1942. You used to play this game all the time at the arcade in college. They had an arcade building, like in the student center. They had an arcade, and 1942 was one. It was either 42 or 43. I think it was 1942 though. It's a shoot 'em up, Jack of War style, World War II style. Shoot 'em up, shoot planes down, shoot enemies, shoot everything in your path. Just shoot everything. Speaking of 1943, I also have 1943. So it's made by Capcom, so it's basically the same thing, just better graphics, better, a little bit more fast-paced, and all that kind of stuff. It's good. Then we have the Elliott's NASCAR Challenge. It's NASCAR. I just have it for my collection. I've never really played it that much, but it's NASCAR. I mean, what can you say? It's NASCAR, so. Then we have Donkey Kong Classics, which is Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. on one cartridge. The classic Donkey Kong and the sequel Donkey Kong Jr., where Donkey Kong Jr. is the only game where Mario is a villain. But it's fun little diversion. It's fun. Dragon Warrior, made by Enix. It's the grandfather of RPGs. This came out even before Final Fantasy, and it's primitive as primitive can be, and it's hard, but it's really fun. I like it, and this game's the one that started it off. If you want to talk about turn-based, this is about as turn-based as you can get. Everything is menu. If you want to go downstairs, you have to hit the menu. If you want to go down, open up doors, you have to hit the menu. It's everything basically like menu-based. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons almost own video game. Then we have Duck Hunt. Just by itself, it's Duck Hunt. It's not Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. It's just Duck Hunt. It's Duck Hunt. Shoot 'em up. Ducks. Ducks. Speaking of ducks, Ducktales. One of the best games on NES. Oh, that moon theme. Ducks. Ducks in outer space. But it's Ducktales. This is a time where Ducktales games, I mean, Disney games and like games based off of TV shows were really good. Ducktales, Chip and Dale, Tailspin. So all those games were really good. But Ducktales is a spectacular game. It's easy, but the fun factor of this game is through the roof. It was so popular that they recently, past couple of years, made a remake on it. Ducktales is remastered with some better stuff on it, but Ducktales is such a fun game. Then we have Roxanna. I did a blind LP of this game, like, very beginning of my LP career. It was like my 4th LP I ever did. It's made by Hudson Soft. But, it's a RPG, like a side-scrolling RPG. Go around fighting, trying to save the world tree from destruction. And, I did this game blind, but I liked it so much I got a copy of it. It's a nice little game. Then we have Final Fantasy. Come on. It's me. You obviously don't think I'm going to have a copy of Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy. It's the very first Final Fantasy, hard as balls, but it's still fun. Fun to this day. Ghostbusters 2. It's platform, shoot 'em up, Contra style, but with Ghostbusters, it's fun, but it can be kind of tough. It's way better than the first Ghostbusters, but I mean, it's basically Ghostbusters go around shooting ghosts and like iconic scenes from Ghostbusters 2 movie. The Legend of Zelda, the Gray Cart. It comes with the instruction booklet and everything, but the game that started the Legend of Zelda series, what more can be said about it? And it's not the gold cart, like I said, it's the gray cart, so. Give me a second, let me put this back in. None of my games are complete in box, by the way. I'm not too worried about that. Then we have Mighty Bomb Jack. It's a puzzle game where you go around and try to blow everything up with bombs. It's a nice little puzzle game. It's fun. It's made by Tecmo. But it's got a nice little, it's a fun little puzzle game. It's basically kind of like platform, but you use bombs on everything. It's a nice little game. Nintendo World Cup Soccer with the instruction booklet. It's soccer, but it's still okay. And of course it's made by Nintendo because it's Nintendo World Cup, but RC Pro-Am. Racing game with RC cars. Also it's made by Rare. It's one of Rare's first games. Yeah, that's when Rare was still developing, and then Rare did Donkey Kong Country, and then all the Nintendo 64 games, and everything was history, and this is so good. But it's like, it never really ends after 30, it says 32 tracks of games, but after the 32nd track, it goes back to the first track and just repeats over and over again, but it's fun. It's very fast-paced. I mean, what do you expect with RC cars? Startropics. Made by Nintendo. It's another RPG style game. But it's more modern. Like, think of Earthbound a little bit, but more like with the modern all kind of stuff. Because the main weapon's a yo-yo, and but you have a lot of dungeons, fight bosses, and the objective is your uncle gets kidnapped by aliens, and you have to eventually go to the alien spaceship and free him from this alien named Zoda. And there's a bunch of jumping blocks and jumping and enemies, and you use yo-yos and all kinds of weapons, and it's got a little bit of a Legend of Zelda look to it too, but it's still a really fun game. Startropics 2, Zoda's Revenge, the sequel. It's basically the same thing, but instead of moving, you can only move in four ways. You can move in 8 directions, but it's more of the same. Zoda tries to come back, but it's. Oh, and fun fact: this is the very, very, very last licensed game made for the NES. It came out in 1994. This is the very last licensed game for NES. Do I even need to say? I don't even need to say what this game is. It's Mario and Duck Hunt. The game that, like, revolutionized and brought back video gaming from, like, the depths of despair. But it's freaking Mario. Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm not going to say the little controversy about it because there's nothing that can be said that hasn't been said. As everybody probably knows, it's not the real Super Mario Bros. 2 because it's deemed too hard for us, and it's actually a reskin game of Doki Doki Panic, but it's still a fun game. And a lot of the stuff that you see in this game goes into future Mario games anyway, like Shy Guys and stuff, and Birdo. But it's still Mario, but it's a little different because you don't stomp on enemies and pick them up and drill them. So. And finally, Tetris. What can you say about Tetris? The most popular puzzle game of all time. I mean, there's nothing that can be said about Tetris that can't already be said. It's Tetris. And that's my NES collection for now. I'm going to be expanding. I'm looking for pawn shops, garage sales, yard sales, anything I can get my hands on to try to find anything. So, but right now, I had a lot more games. I had Kirby's Adventure back in the day, Kid Icarus, Mario Brothers 3, Spy vs. Spy. I had so many games, but like I said, over the years, I've lost them because I've moved so much, and I don't know what happened to a lot of them, but that's what I have right now. But I'm trying to really expand my collection up again. So, but that completes my NES collection, and I'll be back with my Super Nintendo collection and some future collections on a later date. And y'all have a good day.